Well, summer is here, and with that, farmers are in wait-and-see mode for their crops. How it will turn out mostly depends on the weather.
So what can we expect for the growing season this year? We turn now to Neil Melancon for this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry.
It's a tough time of year for farmers across Louisiana. Sure, there are a lot of things to do around the farm, like chemical applications or irrigation or even getting the harvesting equipment ready for fall. But really, farmers are just looking at the sky right now, wondering what kind of weather they're going to have for their crops. So far this year, it's been one of extremes. A very cool spring, weeks of dry weather punctuated by intense rainfall, especially at the end of May, as you saw in Avery's story earlier. The Midwest has seen ideal growing conditions so far, but planted late due to snowy weather up there. Closer here to home, the dry weather hampered some crops, but we've got most of what we wanted in the ground. What will the rest of the summer hold? Well, as Jay Grimes tells us, there's no real way to predict it.
There's really no long-range indicators to give a hint as to which way the weather is going to go for the coming weeks and months. So what I tell people at this time of year, plan for something typical, but allow yourself a little latitude. And typically what you got to worry about is the rainfall.
Now, as for the El Nino everyone's been talking about, he says if it does happen, it'll happen later on this summer.
What El Nino does to our general weather in the summer, though, is pretty limited and not very clear. So we don't really have a tool there to know whether the summer is going to be warm or cooler than normal, or whether it's going to be wetter or drier than normal. The way it looks right now, plan for a fairly typical summer. Of course, one tropical event can throw that right out the window.
The bottom line is, just like farmers, we'll have to wait and see. And of course, one thing we do know, the summer will be hot and it will be humid.
Well, he says his job gets really easy during the summer, barring hurricanes. But the thing with Jay Grimes is you have to remember that he was served as the state climatologist for so long, worked with the LSU Ag Center still to this day off and on, and he just has so much knowledge of climatology, that long-term sort of effect of weather.
All right, that's absolutely true. And we've been working with him, of course, for years, and it's just been great to have him as a resource. But, even he has his limits.
No, Neil Melancon, thank you very much. Well, we have limits here as well. That about does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
Be sure to join us next week when we'll tell you how agriculture fared in the 2014 legislative session.
And until then, you can watch all of our stories from this show, past shows, or anything we've done by going to our website, twilatv.org. You also want to go and see our Facebook and Twitter feeds, because you never know what we're going to post. Sometimes we're out in the field, we might take a silly picture to get a little video, post it there, stuff that, might not make the show.
For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for watching. We hope to see you again right here next week.